For decades, American air power has been built on an unparalleled technological edge. That edge is embodied by its top fighters, the F-22 Raptor and the F-35 Lightning. They are the apex predators of the sky, designed to own any airspace they enter. But what happens when a new predator enters the arena? One that military analysts believe was built with a specific and lethal purpose: to hunt America's most valuable assets. For years, Western observers dismissed it. They called it an unproven prototype, a technology demonstrator, a machine full of compromises and stolen blueprints. But they were wrong. The Chengdu J-20 Mighty Dragon was not just another copy. It was engineered with a cold, calculated, and highly focused strategy. It was designed from the ground up to be a hunter. This is not a story about which jet wins a classic dogfight. This is about strategy and how one aircraft's design was created to dismantle an entire doctrine of American air superiority. The J-20 is the tip of a spear aimed directly at the heart of Western air power, targeting not just frontline fighters, but the vital support aircraft that give them their global reach. From its massive internal fuel bays to ultra-long-range missiles and robotic drone swarms, the sheer speed and scale of China's fifth-generation fighter program has caught the world completely by surprise. So, what does it mean for a fighter jet to be a hunter in 21st century aerial combat? It is not about turning agility in a close-range knife fight. The modern battlefield in the sky is a lethal chess match played over hundreds of miles. Victory almost always belongs to whoever achieves the first look and the first shot. And in this arena, the most valuable targets are rarely the enemy fighter jets themselves. American air power relies on a complex, interdependent ecosystem. The F-22s and F-35s are the sharp-toothed predators, but they are entirely dependent on a network of large, vulnerable support aircraft. These are the high-value airborne assets: the KC-135 and KC-46 aerial refueling tankers that extend a stealth fighter's combat reach from hundreds to thousands of miles. They are the E-3 Sentry AWACS and E-7 Wedgetail command aircraft, the flying eyes and ears that coordinate the entire battle space. And they are the RC-135 Rivet Joint Reconnaissance platforms, collecting real-time signals intelligence. Break that chain, and the entire ecosystem collapses. A stealth fighter without fuel becomes a useless glider. A squadron without airborne radar and command is flying blind. This is where the J-20's primary mission comes into focus. Military analysts believe the Mighty Dragon was never intended to tangle in dogfights with F-22 Raptors. Instead, it was built as a long-range strategic interceptor. Its mission is to bypass the frontline defensive screen, stalk through contested airspace undetected, and assassinate the vulnerable support planes that American air dominance depends upon. By pushing American tankers and radar planes hundreds of miles further back, the J-20 effectively shrinks the combat radius of U.S. fighters, neutralizing their advantage across the vast distances of the Pacific. One of the first things you notice when looking at the J-20 is its sheer physical size. It is a massive, heavy fighter, significantly longer than both the F-22 Raptor and the F-35 Lightning. This is not an engineering mistake. It is a deliberate design choice dictated by the brutal geography of the Indo-Pacific. In a potential conflict across the Western Pacific, air bases are not neatly clustered like Cold War airfields in Europe. The distances between islands, runways, and carrier strike groups span thousands of miles of open ocean. The J-20's enlarged airframe is a direct answer to this geographical reality. A larger fuselage allows for massive internal fuel tanks. While exact figures remain closely guarded state secrets, intelligence estimates place the J-20's internal fuel capacity far beyond that of Western stealth fighters, granting it an estimated combat radius of up to 2,000 kilometers without external fuel tanks or aerial refueling. This long range is the foundational pillar of its hunter role. It allows the J-20 to loiter deep in the Pacific Ocean, patrolling the very sectors where American support aircraft must operate. While the American F-22 J-22 was conceived during the Cold War to achieve air superiority over European battlefields with blistering speed and thrust vectoring. The J-20 is a pure product of China's anti-access and area denial strategy. Its goal is not to win air shows. Its goal is to keep American carrier strike groups and heavy bombers at arm's length. Stealth technology is not an invisibility cloak. It is the complex physics of radar cross-section reduction, designed to delay detection until it is far too late for the target to react. While all fifth-generation fighters utilize stealth, how an aircraft implements stealth reveals its true combat doctrine. The J-20 features a long, chiseled fuselage, diverterless supersonic inlets, and forward canards. For years, aviation critics claimed that forward canards would ruin the jet's stealth characteristics. However, specialized radar analysis reveals that China engineered the J-20 with extreme frontal aspect stealth. When approaching head-on, the J-20 presents a razor-thin radar signature. For a patient hunter stalking high-value assets from beyond visual range, frontal stealth is the single most critical factor. The J-20 does not need all-aspect stealth in a swirling 360-degree dogfight. It needs to remain completely invisible as it flies directly toward its target, launches its long-range weapons from 200 kilometers away, and banks away before enemy radar can establish a track. This frontal stealth profile is paired with a sophisticated sensor suite. A large, active, electronically scanned array radar, electro-optical targeting systems, and passive electronic surveillance sensors. These allow the J-20 pilot to track enemy tankers and radar planes entirely passively, hunting in complete radio silence without emitting a single radar pulse that could betray its position. If the J-20 airframe is the stealthy stalker, its primary weapon is the lethal strike. That weapon is the PL-15 Very Long-Range Air-to-Air Missile. For decades, the American AWACS AMRAAM reigned supreme as the gold standard of beyond visual range air combat. The PL-15 was developed specifically to shatter that dominance. Entering operational service in the mid-2010s, the PL-15 shocked Western defense planners with a confirmed engagement range exceeding 200 kilometers, significantly outranging existing operational versions of the American AMRAAM. The technological secrets of the PL-15 make it exceptionally dangerous. The missile is powered by a dual-pulse solid rocket motor. After its initial high-speed boost, the motor shuts down and allows the missile to coast, saving its second rocket burn for the final terminal attack phase. When closing in on a target, the second motor ignites, accelerating the missile to extreme supersonic speeds and denying the target any chance of kinetic evasion. Equipped with its own miniature AESA radar seeker, the PL-15 is highly resistant to electronic jamming. When carried inside the internal weapons bay of a stealthy J-20, the threat to lumbering tankers and AWACS aircraft becomes catastrophic. This single missile was the primary catalyst that forced the United States Air Force to urgently launch the development of the AIM-260 Joint Advanced Tactical Missile to restore parity. Just as Western analysts were beginning to understand the baseline J-20, China revealed another unprecedented breakthrough. The J-20S, the world's first two-seat fifth-generation stealth fighter to enter serial production. The second seat in the J-20S is not for flight training. It is occupied by a dedicated weapons systems officer whose sole responsibility is managing high-bandwidth tactical data links and commanding autonomous, loyal wingman combat drones. This concept, known as manned-unmanned teaming, represents the next frontier of warfare. The J-20S functions as a forward airborne battle commander. Operating deep within contested airspace, a single J-20S can direct a swarm of unmanned stealth drones, such as the FH-97A. These expendable drones act as forward sensor scouts, electronic jamming platforms, and flying missile magazines. The weapon systems officer in the backseat can orchestrate synchronized, multi-axis missile strikes from multiple drones simultaneously. An enemy pilot could find themselves targeted by a dozen missiles originating from completely different angles, completely overwhelmed by distributed robotic mass. By dividing the cognitive workload between the pilot flying the stealth aircraft and the officer commanding the drone swarm, the J-20S transforms from a lone hunter into the alpha of a robotic pack. When all the evidence is assembled, the Chengdu J-20 represents far more than just another stealth fighter. It is an asymmetrical weapon engineered to target the critical vulnerabilities of Western air power. From its immense internal fuel capacity designed for the Pacific theater, to its frontal stealth geometry and the lethal reach of the PLAAF missile, the Mighty Dragon was conceived with a singular doctrine: eliminate the support fleet and blind the enemy. And the challenge is compounded by industrial momentum. Satellite imagery indicates that China has accelerated J-20 production to an estimated 120 aircraft per year, with over 400 to 500 J-20s already delivered to the People's Liberation Army Air Force. The active J-20 fleet has already surpassed the total number of American F-22 Raptors ever built. By the end of this decade, China could field nearly 1,000 stealth fighters in the Pacific. The American F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning remain formidable engineering marvels. But the era of uncontested air dominance is officially over. The question facing military strategists is no longer simply who builds the fastest fighter, but whether any defense can withstand a dedicated hunter backed by the manufacturing power of an industrial titan. What do you think about China's air combat doctrine and the rise of loyal wingman swarms? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more deep dive military documentaries.